Welcome to the Loud Quiet. Ooh, empty nester. Okay. What does that mean?
Yeah, I think that actually probably is the theme of the empty nest. What are we doing? Let's do this. Let's do this thing. I don't know if I'm recording. Yeah. Okay.
Great. Sans children. Just us. We need a tissue box up here. Follow along on our journey and maybe, we can learn from others.
Yeah. I don't have a clue how to be empty nester.
This is the Loud Quiet Living the Empty Nest. Hello, welcome back. Episode 40.
40.
Yeah, 40. Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
yeah,
so we can't just go dead air right there. Okay,
no,
3 seconds in and we go dead air. We're at episode 40. We're out of things to talk about now.
Okay, so we're starting over.
Oh, no, I was joking.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, just keep all this in. See, we're on episode 40. We still don't have it together.
For those who haven't been with us the entire journey, because we do pick up new listeners and viewers throughout, our first episode 1 was called We're Not Professionals. Apparently, we still are not professionals.
So this is episode 40. Thank you to those who continue to listen. And yes, I've noticed we've picked up a couple of new people, and I love it. Someone actually messaged me the other day while we were recording and asking, hey, I just listened to y'all's New York one, or I listened to it before and I forgot the plays that y'all went to. And so, people are listening. Some people are listening.
People really do listen.
So thank you. We appreciate it.
We do appreciate it. And I think the style of this is designed in such a way, we set it up as it was for us to just kind of figure out what the heck do we do with each other in the empty nest. And so that's our primary goal. It is nice to have the listeners, the viewers, to hear y'all's commentary. We'd love to incorporate y'all more into this. So, for example, this story and other stories, if y'all have wisdom or insights to share, we'd love to have y'all share your story here on the show as well.
And we will have some guests coming up later in the summer. I know, and I enjoy that. We will have some because we have a couple of empty nest friends who are now planning weddings, and so I'd like to get their take on that. Again, we're way far away from that. I don't think I want to introduce that topic in yet.
I
got too much other stuff trying to find apartments.
And we haven't even talked about that yet. So. But what we were talking about this episode is recorded the day before our anniversary, our 24th anniversary. And yes, I make this joke every time that we got married in the year 2000 so that I can answer the question, how many years have you been married, as easily as possible. So,
as our pastor struggled this morning to remember
he's up there with he had his fingers out counting it out. It was awesome to see. So it will tomorrow, after this recording, it will be the 24th. By the time this is published, it will
24th anniversary, yes.
Yes. What did I say?
Well, when you said it'll be the 24th.
Oh, yeah. We will have done the 24th anniversary. When this is released, it'll be in the past. So we're in anniversary mode right now. We did a little celebration and just thinking about anniversaries that we've experienced.
And when we were planning our wedding, we thought, Memorial Day, great weekend. We will always have a 3-day or even a 4-day weekend. We can go all these places for our anniversary. How'd that work out?
So let's see. By setting the tone, Clancy has foreshadowed what that actually looked like.
Yeah. So So I pulled all the pictures for this episode. So Rick hasn't even seen any of them. So, and again, this one is a picture heavy episode.
Head over to YouTube.
So we'll just be going through some things. So, of course, first to start it off, this was our
who are those young people?
Yes, look how dark both of our hair is. I mean, I
don't know
how dark mine is.
How is there that much hair on my head?
Yeah, but it's very flat to your head. So anyways, this is a picture of us. And again, so let me just say, this is what I tell people when they're like, when we go on trips, and especially when we go on trips that cross any big bodies of water, that I like to be in business class. Well, okay, not my fault. Someone flew me to Costa Rica first class.
That's true.
To get engaged.
That's right.
So,
And it was there were surprise elements to this. I don't know how much you actually opened or saw or that sort of stuff, but you were given a packet that said, open this at a certain time. You're going to need to be at the airport at a certain time. Here's the kind of clothes, that
Yes.
sort of stuff. I don't remember how much I told you ahead of time.
No, so I was in Baltimore working and I almost missed the flight because I was a flight attendant, and being, if anyone out there knows flight attendant life, you have these crash pads, you all live together because you can't afford anything.
A crash pad, to define it though, for
it's like a
10 people get an apartment together, or even a hotel room in some places, and you just rotate in and out. Not everybody's there at the same time.
So where we lived, you had to go down this huge hill with your luggage to get on the train to get to the airport. Well, something happened with my alarm. I don't know, but yes, I was running to the airport, made it. It was fine. So yes, this was
we didn't meet until Miami. That's the other part.
We met
I
in
was
Miami.
flying from one airport. You were flying from Baltimore, and we met in Miami.
So yeah, so that's our engagement
in Costa Rica.
Post-engagement picture.
Yes,
it's a nice trip.
So not necessarily an anniversary, but it's certainly what started us down the anniversary path.
Yes.
That's right.
So this,
I guess technically this is an anniversary picture. Yes, this is anniversary 0.
Our wedding.
So the moment of the kiss.
Yeah. So yes, there we are.
I'm sorry. Maybe that's not so good to have me surprised.
Not see the picture. So
yeah, no, this
is. We loved, and I've got several. So that's at our ceremony. We did bubbles instead of rice. I don't think you could do rice
had already
anymore.
fallen out of favor, and so now it's bubbles. We do
bubbles, and that's us in the limo, looking nice and happy onto our honeymoon. And
even though at that point we're probably exhausted, but we were so happy to be married, of course, and just be heading on. But
our wedding was it was a lot of fun. We had a really good band, like the guys that were the band DJs, whatever you want to call them. They were really fun. It was fun. I really wanted to find, because some of my favorite pictures, and I don't know where that box is, because back in this day, kids, you didn't have the digital camera.
I'm going to assure you all of our listeners are very well versed with.
Yes. So, you got your proofs when you got your proofs, and that's what you got. Yeah. And there were some of the faces.
Oh, you're talking about the one that you had laser eyes darting at me?
There's several of those. And then there's some that I'm looking like, I'm so annoyed right now.
The one that I'm going to describe, so you remember how pictures would have a reflection.
Anyway. Yeah.
So Clancy's eyes are glowing because of that retinal glowing. And she's looking at me with this kind of anger/disgust pose that they caught her in. So it really looks like looks like she is trying to shoot lasers at me at our wedding reception.
There's
so
several.
We got off to a great start.
Several of those that
We actually, speaking of getting off to a great start, and this is somewhat relevant as there were some damaging things that came through last night. Our wedding occurred under a tornado warning. Mm-hmm. As we approached the time of the wedding, there was a tornado warning in our county. And I had no
idea. Y'all had it on in the guys' room, but I had no idea. So
that whole, that what is it? The truism, the legend of, if it rains on your wedding day, it's good luck. Well, what about a tornado? Because apparently that just makes it awesome.
But it was just
anniversary
it was fun, minus the part that when we got out of the church, our limo wasn't there. So. Everyone else was gone.
We're sitting there in the church. Okay.
Sorry, my nose is itchy. Okay, so that was So then we move on to again, another.
Here's a wise choice. Yeah. Men out there.
First anniversary.
Where was it, Clancy?
Hawaii.
Yes. Hey, men. And women, if whoever's going to be the one that's kind of driving the boat on planning, maybe start a little smaller for your first anniversary, because
they didn't keep up with that.
Yeah. Well, I know, but the expectations were set. That doesn't mean that they were followed. What a glorious trip this was. That we did Kauai and we did Maui. I think it was the reverse order.
And the Big Island too. We did.
We
did Pearl Harbor and
Oahu.
Yeah.
Right, Oahu? Whatever that island, wherever Honolulu is. We're geographic Luddites there, but
this was a fun
this was one that we even, you plan it ahead, and imagine that iconic table that is in every hotel brochure, that it's the table that is out on the water by itself for dinner, and had that set up for our anniversary dinner out there. And as you'd expect, it was a glorious setting, great food. Our only time that we've been to Hawaii.
Yeah, we haven't been back. This was, when we decided we were ready to start having children.
I think we've talked about that, and I think that my amnesia has kicked in solidly on that conversation, but I know that we definitely did.
Oh, I remember I was ready.
I'm not doubting this.
It's so weird because I wasn't, and then something on this trip made me decide, and I think I had to not convince you, but you weren't quite.
I wasn't at the same stage. That's not really convincing. Yeah. That's just a conversation.
And we didn't know, that it was only going to take us 1 month to get pregnant. But anyways, but we were also at this. Yeah, okay, well, it didn't work so much the second time. So don't get so high on your horse over there. But this trip also was, we were in the midst of moving to Houston.
Yeah, that's right.
So you flew straight to Houston. I got off the plane in Dallas after the trip, and I had to go start packing up our house to move to Houston. So that was first anniversary. Then we get to, here we are, second anniversary, and I am pregnant.
We added 2 features to this. It's interesting as you were talking about deciding to have a kid. Miso's wandering around in the video during that time. And so we picked up a dog. We decided to, obviously we'd already decided, but super pregnant there.
Oh yeah, because this was the end of
Tanner's
May.
Tanner's
birthday
June.
Yeah,
anniversary's
so
May.
I was, big pregnant,
I don't even see, this is where I was saying, I don't know if I'm going to remember each anniversary, what we did. What did we do?
I remember we went to a restaurant. It had outdoor, I think it was, what was the one?
Oh, it was the one on La Vista? Ruggles.
No, we didn't go to Ruggles. Yeah. We didn't go La Vista.
Okay, so maybe
it may
this
have been
was a Ruggles night.
But it was outside. But it wasn't La Vista. But it was nicer than La Vista. But yes, so that was.
It's just weird to look at these pictures and realize, well, that's me. That's my first reaction is, who were you married to back then?
Well,
even think
that is fun. Looking when I was going through.
Oh my gosh, the monster pleated pants.
Hey, pleated pants are coming back. I heard though.
Oh Lord.
Okay, but it is funny going through and looking at not so much you, but me. All my different hairstyles, all my different sizes, and it's
different sizes.
It's fun. So,
I wish that this picture had gone over a little bit over here to show us the TV that I had to kick to keep it going. It died, and you'd have to actually kick it to turn it on. So after this, I know for a second, but after this, they kind of get, blurred. So this was another one. So this one, Flower Mound.
Yeah, this was Flower Mound, and the date on this one I saw, but I don't remember. We missed some years in there, and who knows why. But so this one was Tegan was born in April, and so this was May after she was born.
We deserve.
So we probably had a 6-week-old that luckily my parents were here to come and take care of.
This is probably less about anniversary, more just about we got to get out of this house and have some time. So, you're looking good there. I like this.
Okay. Now my hair looks like a mushroom.
Well,
okay.
Different styles. I am enjoying the jacket that is the length of, that's the kind of jacket that Shaq should be wearing now.
Look at your face got a little, look at that. Your face got a little more round in this one.
Sympathy gain. Yeah. I celebrated. Yes. And sympathy gained.
So that was.
The camera adds 10 pounds. How many cameras are on you, Rick?
So that was another one. And here's another flower mound. This one actually has the date on it.
It does.
2006.
So that's our 6th anniversary.
Yeah. And I guess we had to put.
Look, the baby gate is up in the fireplace there. Tegan's wandering around.
That was. She was into everything. Before we didn't have to have it. I mean, Tanner was only 2, But yeah, now it's there. So.
Okay, that actually, going back to clothing, again, you look smoking. It looks like I'm wearing a towel. Look at that. Doesn't it look like I'm wearing a towel?
I don't know where we were going, but you have on big baggy shorts.
But the way it's set up there, it really looks like I came out of the shower and you're like, put on a shirt, we got to take a picture.
Well, it's not, but yeah, and this is when I went through my, I guess, let's go to brown hair phase. I don't know. Yeah. Also, when I was not probably when I was not doing my hair as often as I do now.
Definitely not.
But yeah, so
I think
there you go. I don't know where we're going.
I'm looking at the mantle, and it's all pictures of kids up there too. So I don't know anything about this anniversary, but it is interesting to see the evolution of us. We still look young here.
So this was after we had moved into our current Frisco house. Right. So this was the year that I was like, oh, I want to see if my wedding dress still fits.
And it did.
It fit, yeah. And so you're on your tiptoes.
I'm on my tiptoes. I don't know why.
Because I put me on the top step and you didn't want to be, but yeah. But that, so I tried it on, but this one, I love this picture. Yeah, and I have it in our bedroom, and it's the kids, laying on the bottom of my wedding gown. And
you're looking down at them, sort of angelic and
I
motherly.
think I posted this if Facebook was around then. I think it was, and then I was like,
"Oh,
wait, no, this is."
People are thinking, "Oh, blended. How many kids did y'all bring to the wedding?"
So,
that was really. I really did enjoy this. Again, I don't remember what we did or where we went.
Probably nowhere. That's probably why.
We probably opened a bottle of wine and sat there at home. But it is, first of all, wow, you look great being back there in the wedding dress, and just it was so beautiful and fun to remember, kind of like we're doing now.
Yeah,
because this would have, if the other one was 6, this is what, 7, 8, something, right? And well, you're starting to get, well, that's that 7-year itch, all those kind of things. It's really nice to go back and look, just like we're doing an empty nest now. And remember these memories.
And we talked about, I don't necessarily remember what year it was around, but it was when we were in our Frisco house that we did. We took a trip out to Scottsdale, Phoenix.
Of all places.
You know, because we were like, we've got to figure some things out because there were things that just weren't working.
Right.
So,
and it probably was around this time.
It probably was, yeah.
And that's probably, well, that's a whole different conversation than we kind of talked about it. But while these are pictures that show delight and the excitement, that kind of stuff, that's sort of, that was the reality of marriage can be incredibly hard. And so working through that, choosing to work through it, allowed us to be able to be talking about a 24th anniversary as opposed to this being some of the last photos.
Yeah. Yep. So let's see. Then this was year 10.
We are awesome.
Yeah, we went to. Well, your sister, and Steven were living in San Francisco, so we saw them the first night, and then we went out to Napa and
made sure you got the convertible because it was Napa.
Yeah.
And dang, I keep saying it, but you look really good. Now, this is where my hair had already started thinning, so the hairstyle has changed. If you notice that, it's no longer sliced across, but rather spiked up in the air. And
I'm kind of blonde again. Shorter, but blonde.
I like those sunglasses.
I was just about to say, I have on humongous sunglasses.
Oh, I was looking at mine in this case, but I wouldn't mind getting those back. Okay. Yeah. That was a fun trip. And that was fun. We've talked about getting out to Napa. That is a great place to spend time as a couple. We enjoyed that. It would be great with friends as well. This was the one where we did that group limo wine experience, which was fun, but it's one of those where you're paired with random people. And while we were doing things, we were still somewhat budget oriented here. And so that allowed us to do the limo experience. And you go to 9, I don't know how many wineries, but you don't know what they are. And what's interesting, though, is in this group, there was a couple or several people that didn't drink. No, we weren't the only ones. No.
Well, there was only, because I saw the picture of there were only 6 of us.
So maybe it was one couple didn't drink, and you're thinking, and that's fine, we don't have any problem with people that don't drink, but why would you go to a winery tour? So we had a blast.
Yeah.
We got all their samples, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, that was fun. That was a really fun trip. And we had also, remember, we were down to the wire. Our pool had just been put in.
Yes.
And we had to, and our neighbor, luckily, they had done theirs. And so we're like, can you come over and make sure that it's
He had to fill the pool.
Yeah, because the kids wanted to get in it so bad because I'm sure they were staying with my parents, but they were probably coming back and forth.
And
but,
it's just the simple mechanics of a pool. It had to be filled. So
I mean, it was the night we were like, oh my gosh, get the hose in. So always something else. Oh, whoops, I skipped. Okay, so this, I don't remember what year this was either, but so this was another, we went to Thailand.
I think I just saw this memory. It's in the range of like 12 to 14 years ago. So that would put us, 24
well,
minus.
10 was Napa, so this must have been maybe 12.
Maybe I did it the wrong way
something,
around. Maybe it was somewhere. So, Thailand's a good place to celebrate an anniversary.
Yeah, it was awesome.
See, I did upgrade from Hawaii. I even went further across the Pacific with you on this one.
And we chose Thailand because my brother was living there at the time. And yeah, this was an amazing trip. The beaches are beautiful.
We did a few days in Bangkok, the city, what a great place. Such amazing food, super cheap, amazing. We stayed with Chad, which were great accommodations that trip. And then we went out to Koh Samui specifically is the island that we went to. It stayed at the Intercontinental there and was spectacular.
And I think did we do Hong Kong on this trip too? I think we did Hong Kong first. And
I think so.
Yeah. Because you were working. I think you actually worked.
Maybe we did like a couple days in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
But Thailand was certainly the focus of it. And Chad set us up on some great tours while we were in Bangkok. And then the beach was just absolutely spectacular. And that was when Noom was with us on that trip as well. They weren't married then.
Yeah.
It was nice to, I guess, begin to plant the seeds of a relationship with the woman who would become our sister-in-law.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that was definitely a good trip.
Can't wait to go back there.
This was just a staycation that we did one year at Granite Park. That's at the sushi restaurant that's over there.
Oh, at Bluefin.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Got it. You can tell that I'm struggling to figure out where this is. Thank you for the reminder there.
So there were a lot of years in between that. A couple I was like, oh, he took Tegan camping on our anniversary.
Yeah, did you put those pictures in here?
No, I didn't put those in here.
Because it's Memorial Day weekend, and that's when a kid can go camping and that sort of thing, yeah.
So y'all did that. We definitely had, so this was what I was saying. When we thought we picked Memorial Day, yay. When you have a child who plays competitive soccer, there's a tournament every freaking Memorial Day. So
Happy
we
anniversary.
spent a lot of our anniversaries on the soccer field
with an off-brand Yeti cup and a toast to our anniversary, sitting in camp chairs, sweating to death.
Yeah, and I didn't put any of those pictures, but I think we probably still tried to find some way to acknowledge, but. I mean, you and I have even gotten to the point now that, we don't even do cards. We don't do, they'll be.
I think it's because you and I have found, two things. One, you and I have commented on how gifts can be such a challenge when at this age, one, we aren't really into stuff.
Yeah.
And, typically if you need or want stuff, you've purchased it on your own.
Yeah.
So gift giving can certainly for me, I am not a really good gift giver. It's something that I wish I were better at, but I'm not. And so we've kind of on this one said we're going to experience time together, whether it's a big old trip or just time together. But yeah, cards and the stuff.
And we have done, I obviously don't have, but I know there's times that we've scheduled massages and then we'd go to dinner, and obviously we don't have pictures of that, but
that's a little creepy.
So this was just another random staycation little that we did. Because we did one, I think too. I don't know if that was for our anniversary when we stayed and went to Del Frisco's Grill or Del Frisco's in.
Do you mean Nick and Sam's?
No. Well, we did that too, but I don't know if that was the anniversary. Oh, yeah, that was at the W. And then we
stayed at the W and went to Nick and Sam's.
Oh, yeah, I didn't have pictures from that one.
Yeah, I don't think we did any pictures.
No, when we went to Legacy West and stayed at that hotel.
Oh, the Renaissance.
There, and then, but that may have been, I don't know. There's also times that you and I, throughout, and especially when the kids got older, that we're like, we just need to go and get away from the house for a night. And so we would just do that. But let's see what's next. This one, I just know for a fact that we are going to Capitol Grill because the Facebook posts all popped up today. So here we are in our car going to Capitol Grill. So,
Well, I don't have a new reaction to this. I'm just glad to. Well, actually, my reaction is okay. I remember this car. This was the Suburban. This was the silver Suburban, I believe, because it's got the TV that pops.
Yeah,
down
the
at
white one
top.
was gone by.
Yeah.
I think the white. Well, anyway.
Anyway,
So yeah, but yeah, that one was.
I think you're hearing a recurring theme, though. We do like our nice meals when it comes to anniversaries.
Yeah.
When we take the time to do
well,
so.
and not to sound like hoity-toity, but that was the struggle we had trying to figure out where we wanted to go this year because they're like, well, we just go sit up at the bar at Perry's now, or we go sit at the bar at Capitol Grill, or we go.
Are we up to?
Not yet.
Okay.
So, okay, this one I put in here, but do you remember this one? It's season 21.
Oh, this is seasons. This
Yes,
is
we got
this
in
is
a
why I won't
fight.
ever go to
Yeah,
that seasons 52 place anymore because we went there. We like twice we got in fights there. This was one, but there was another time that we got.
Oh,
yeah,
I don't remember the other one. But
yeah,
yes.
but yeah, this was the anniversary
Yeah.
because they seated us in the back, and I was snippy about it, and I don't even remember you maybe reacted to my snippiness, and then I
Oh,
got
and
on you.
then we just got into something else too. I
And it
don't
was
know.
just
Yeah.
stupid. This was not a fight of substance. This was a fight of just two stupid people.
Yeah.
And so look at our smiles, but
Yeah,
those
they're
aren't
fake.
real.
Those are fake.
Yowza.
Yeah.
Maybe needed to drink a little more wine or something. I don't know.
No, it might have been the opposite, but anyways. Yeah, so I put that one in there though. And I love that shirt. And I almost was like, oh, I should wear. And then I was like, nope, I'm not. I still haven't. I'm like, I've worn it. Like, I think that's the only time I've worn it. Maybe one other. And I love
Yeah.
it. And I was like, nope, I'm not wearing it on.
We have gone back since this fight,
Yeah,
but that restaurant has been pretty much tainted because of that experience.
And that restaurant to me is But anyways, this one was the French restaurant.
Oh, that was
so,
neat. Was
yeah.
that Cadeau or was that? No, this is the one in Addison.
In Addison, yeah. So,
Yeah, that was nice. I like that French place.
yeah. Yeah, it's smaller than, but Cadeau may have been an anniversary too. See,
No, I think that was just a random.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so again, this one is very picture heavy. So if you're listening, it's like, okay,
Yeah, just skip, but yeah.
But
We are aging, so there's the
oh,
great.
this one was just probably a couple of years ago.
Well, I know, but
I bet this was 3 years ago.
This may have been
because
21 because we're going out to dinner.
next was
Costa Rica.
Costa Rica. Yeah, so that was 22, I think, because it wasn't last summer.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. So this is 22.
Yeah, so we took the kids. I mean, the kids are with us, but we
did
we
celebrate
did
our
celebrate
anniversary
our
at
dinner,
a nice
yeah.
restaurant at the hotel.
Yeah.
And I guess the background doesn't quite show. It's this gorgeous, lush view
yeah.
down to the ocean. You actually see the ocean there. It was a spectacular purple indigo sky
Yeah,
as the
it was
evening was
beautiful.
setting. It was all open air. Now, we're shiny because we are sweating to death, I'm sure. It
and my
was
hair
still-
is pulled over to the side because you could not wear it down. Yeah.
You might as well just assume you're
It would
showering
just-
while you're there. Yeah, that was. I'd forgotten about this one. That trip, I really do love Costa Rica, and I love that we started with the engagement photo at Costa
Costa
Rica.
Rica.
This was our first time back.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so
So yeah,
that
it was
part
nice
of it
to
bring
be
them
there for
back.
our
Yeah.
anniversary. Yeah, it was nice. Yeah. So I don't know what's. Oh, and we went to Austin last summer. I guess we took Tegan and Noe
One of my
down
favorites.
there and the murals that are.
Oh, this is
around
not the one that's
everyone.
on our coaster.
No.
The kiss is on a
This-
coaster from years ago. That's
Yeah.
right. This is neat.
This one was our anniversary weekend down there, and I'm sure we didn't really do anything.
Not
but-
much of that. Yeah, during that time.
So,
I
yeah,
really like
but-
that dress.
Well, it's in the closet downstairs.
I'm a fan of that dress. That's a good one.
I like how you're commenting on all my clothes.
Well, because you look good, my eyes are drawn to the pretty woman. So be glad that I'm not looking at it going, what on earth were you thinking,
Well,
right? No.
Well, there have been some of those for me, but yes. For me, like me saying to myself, but
You're just keeping it inside when you're looking at what I'm wearing.
we commented on the balloony shorts and the big,
Sort of the-
but you
the
know, I mean,
towel wrap.
that was the style. So,
That style never wants to reappear.
so yeah, so that was last year, and then this was this year.
That was nice.
Yep.
I want
It's a
to.
picture of us inside before.
Yeah, and it is. I don't know. There's something, and maybe it's just because it's us presently. I like us. Like, that's not the 20-something. Yes, we have age on ourselves. We have.
Oh no, I think we look better now than we did in some of our other
And that's
years.
great. I'm glad that we feel that way about ourselves, which sounds so smug on this. Like, if anybody cut this clip, oh yeah, we look great. But I like us now, and I don't know that, and I don't know that that's just an appearance statement. I think I like us now, which is a great place to be after 24 years of marriage. No, we haven't figured everything out. I still screw things up. You still screw things up. This is both, I think, both the image and just the reality of our current marriage experience is one that I really delight in. And I'm glad that we are where we are after 24 years.
Yeah, I don't know if 10 years ago we could just sit up in these chairs and banter back and forth like we do. We've always had a good relationship,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
I don't know.
I feel the same way. I feel like we are really clicking right now,
Yeah.
like and have been for the past.
And we still fight.
Yeah.
And we still, like I said, get annoyed at each other. But yeah, I think that's part of the clicking is when that happens, we recognize it, we handle it, we move on. And I think that's kind of taking back almost to the theme. And again, this is unscripted because I didn't know which pictures are in here of the empty nest is, when handled right, I think we're finding ourselves. And I don't want to say things that then 3 years from now I look back and go, well, that was foolish. You didn't know what you didn't know, right?
Yeah.
Just like a person in their first year of marriage doesn't know what they don't know. But I do know this, that we walked into the season of empty nest with trepidation. I know that I specifically was worried. How are we going to interact? What are we going to do without the kids as an excuse for activities or even just simple conversation? And to be able to look at this picture, sorry for the monologue here, but to look at this picture and yes, look at two good-looking people in my mind, and I don't care if anybody else thinks differently. I don't. Yeah. And that's part of it is I don't care what other people think. But also know how that represents how I feel about you and how I feel about us, what we've been able to do since episode 1, marking the beginning of the empty nest back in August.
Yeah. It will be interesting to see what this next year brings because, half of our children will be back here. One out of the two will be back,
yeah.
And yes, not living with
not
us,
in the neighborhood,
but
close.
And, so that cuts down kind of on focus on Arizona for him too. We still have Tegan out there, so we will obviously be going. But
I'm looking forward to that we get to focus. Like she gets all our focus when we go out.
But I think it'll be interesting because even yesterday, and this comes again to, what did we do yesterday? We went and looked at possible apartments for Tanner because he's not here right now, so we're trying to kind of help him out a little bit. We went mattress shopping and we went shopping and we didn't kill each other. So, that was good.
If we'd done one more store, I think you might have taken me out.
It was
you were
me.
on the edge.
I was done. Like when we went into the Nordstrom rack I was like, this is why I don't Saturday shop because it was too crowded. So,
yeah.
But yeah, we really enjoy spending time with each other, and I'm so thankful that we do and still do. We started off as friends. It wasn't for very long, but when we first met each other, we just instantly clicked. I mean, and just at first as friends, and then it morphed into something else, So it just still shows me that we still do. We can go back to that time of friendship that some couples probably don't necessarily have.
And it takes work, as we even talked about at the very beginning of this empty nest stuff, how, shoot, we were going to Fort Worth or we were doing these sort of things, almost to just remind our relationship muscles what it meant to be just friends of the two of us rather than a four of us scenario. And I think now so we don't necessarily need that every single weekend. Our relationship muscles have been reawakened and can take that forward now as friends.
Yeah. And I think the word,
Thinking of all those songs. Sorry, when you said started as friends, have become lovers, secret. I'm mixing like 7 songs in my head.
Yeah. Yeah, because I don't think that one's
No,
a
that's
good
Secret
one.
Lovers, yeah.
That's not a good. That's not a good anniversary. Unless you're about to tell me something.
Nope. The 24th anniversary brought to you by Ashley Madison.
I think the word, and I've liked this word, and it started getting kind of buzzy. I don't know how many years ago, but is being intentional. I think you have to be intentional in your relationships, in all your relationships, but especially the most important relationship, which is,
it's way too easy to just kick back and think, we got this thing.
Yeah.
When you don't.
But yeah, so that's, and I put in, they did our little
True
cake
Lux.
with,
we went
True
Lux.
Lux,
True Lux
very
really nice.
good.
And as a little bit of a beginning and ending. Well, it's not an ending, sorry, but a marker is. It was under a severe weather storm, and there were severe tornadoes. So I guess that's. Hey, everybody! If the Dentons are celebrating a wedding or an anniversary, go to your safe place.
And it was kind of fun because while we were there celebrating our 24 years, there was a rehearsal dinner going on in the room, the back room, the private room. So that was fun to see. So,
it was fun. I'm glad you pulled those pictures together for us to enjoy a little anniversary, because as we've said, this is a recurring theme, but the memories of the past help reignite the excitement of the present and secure the stability of the future. Wow, put that
somewhere.
What the heck was that?
Put that on a t-shirt, or let's make an inspirational calendar. Where did that come from?
I have no idea.
You better go back and listen and
we'll have a transcript.
Write that down.
We got a transcript. Oh my goodness. Well,
available for purchase.
It's a big, long t-shirt though.
Oh, you can make a poster.
Okay. I'll do that. Maybe with a cat hanging on a tree or something. God. It'll be a successory for offices. Oh goodness. Well, the laughter continues week after week, which is nice. Because perhaps the next, I don't know, we may be taking a break from recording as my mom's service is next week. We'll see.
We'll see when we get back, and
we'll see what it's like, y'all. But if we skip a week, then we'll be back after that. Mm-hmm. Well, once again, kiddo, it is most certainly the loud, quiet, living the empty nest.